Welcome to Football the Pod, Season 4, Episode 9. I'm your host, Commissioner Ben. If you're wondering why there's no intro, it's because I got a weird email from Spotify saying don't use that intro, and we're taking the episode down. And so I filed an appeal because it's an intro that they provided me. But anyways, have to go with a different intro today, so we'll see if I even get a song attached to this. Anyways, we are back again. It is late on Wednesday, October 29th, after some great World Series baseball. As you can see, I have to stay in this outfit now for the next 3 days. But it's time to record our own nightcap with real football. And okay, let's get into fantasy. A crazy week 8, with 3 of our matchups each decided by less than 2 points. The gap between the highest scoring and lowest scoring team was 36. That's if you exclude Nick, of course. And the lowest scoring overall as well. It was super close. We'll get into that, but first it's time for just the tip with Commissioner Ben. All right, today, super quick tip, but is about trading. We are in the midst of bye weeks and injuries, and so it's time for the annual trade reminder. Right now, it's only been Mike, so let's try and get everybody else going, at least, slowly. I mean, it's impossible to catch up to those 5 trades, but trading is a great way to work your way through bye weeks. Buying players who have already had their bye week is a great strategy to go for in a trade, and their value increases just a bit because, well, they've already had a bye. You're basically like buying yourself a weekly start if you're trading away a guy who hasn't had their bye yet. And so maybe also you can reverse that if you have a strong roster this week and you can afford to buy a player's bye week player off of them to help out this week, to help them out this week, and then you get better in the future. That's a different kind of trade you can make as well. The same principle applies to injuries, but more extreme. For example, if you're a top player, you could consider trading for an injured player like Bucky Irving to help him, as a random example, to help a manager who really needs wins now. Trades are rarely about player takes. That is the main trade tip. Trades for player takes don't do anything. You gotta help both teams out. All right. And that was just the tip with Commissioner Ben. All right, enough of my rambling. We are, of course, back with a guest, another first-timer for Season 4, but always one of the most loved and requested guests. Welcome back onto the pod, Aaron.
What's going on?
How are you doing, big guy?
I'm buzzing. Buzzing after a Jays win, buzzing after a fantasy win. Life's good.
Wow, it's been, what a couple back-to-back days for you. Multiple Jays wins and a fantasy win.
Yeah, squeaked it out too. It was a good win. But, like high times, you got to ride them when they're here because they don't last long.
That's right. But, let's hope they keep lasting into the weekend, at least for one half of that. The Jays, of course. I'm not playing you this week, so.
I want a quick Friday win. I want this to be quick and clean.
Let's get some intensity.
Just saying, I want this. It hasn't happened since the year I was born. I'm ready to feel this.
Yep.
I'm ready to experience this. My parents will sit there and they're like, we've already been here. But
are you going to be in Toronto? Are you going to go to Toronto on Friday?
It's Halloween. I want to so badly be a terrible parent and say,
man, you gotta go trick-or-treating.
Trick-or-treating with my daughter. Instead, Daddy's going to go watch the World Series. I'm right there. I'm right there. She'll appreciate it in like 15 years.
She's young. Just cut her off at 7 and then bolt over to be downtown.
Absolutely. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to drive 180 miles an hour down the highway.
I'm sure there'll be no traffic. Yeah. And then be downtown. I was looking at flights to try and come back for the weekend. It's just like crazy. Like I was looking a few days ago. It was still like $700. So
could be a good time. You're gonna miss out, bud.
I know. Well, man. All right. Enough of that. On to fantasy. We can talk like that. Well, at least as long as possible for the next few days. But let's jump into it with, right on time. It is our 5th trade of the year. And just like my tip said, this one, obviously involving Mike, was one aspect of exactly what I brought up, with Mike trading for a player who's already had his bye, to Jason trading away 2 players to Jason who haven't had their byes yet. And the trade was getting one of the absolute best players in the league, wide receiver Justin Jefferson, on Mike's team now, in exchange for Tyrone Tracy, the new starting running back on the New York Giants after Cam Scatterboo destroyed his ankle and he's done for the season, alongside Courtland Sutton. Aaron, what do you think of this trade? Justin Jefferson for Tyrone Tracy and Courtland Sutton.
Justin Jefferson's solid, consistent. He's on kind of a crappy team, but at the same time, he's a wide receiver one. He's a solid sell. There's a lot of value to him. And then getting Tyrone Tracy, because Cam Scatterboo just went scatterbooed and ended up hurting his ankle real bad.
Yeah, it was guaranteed to happen, yeah.
It was kind of gross to see, but whatever. It is what it is. And then Courtland Sutton as well. I don't know. It's a fair trade. At the end of the day, Mike and Jason both need to move something around to get some, I wouldn't say energy, to get some reliability and consistency. And both teams ended up coming away with that. The wide receiver one and a running back one for a solid top tier wide receiver one.
Look at Justin Jefferson. He has not had a game below 11 fantasy points. He hasn't really blown up for you. Only one game above 20. But he's been so consistent in exchange for, all right, there's not even any need to look up Tyrone Tracy because he was bad as soon as he lost, or as soon as Cam Scatterboo came onto the scene. But Jefferson,
the thing is, with Cam Scatterboo, they have to have that dual threat, right? You have Jackson Dart that's able to throw the ball, and Malik Neighbors is gone, but they have consistent passing and a mobile quarterback. So if you have somebody like Tracy come in for Scatterboo, he has to kind of maintain that same running dominance.
He can't possibly run the same way that Cam Scatterboo runs. Nobody can, but he did well as a rookie at least. So he had a good year last year for an old rookie. He's 25 now.
Yeah, Cam Scatterboo is also mentally handicapped when it comes to certain things. He doesn't really understand pain at all, but at the same time, he understands how to run straight lines really fast and really hard.
We had 110 points for Courtland Sutton on the year, 107 points for Justin Jefferson, but don't forget he's had the bye. Who do you think wins this trade?
I think Jason wins it slightly just because of the numbers, in terms of fantasy points.
Interesting.
At the same time, Minnesota's got to kind of pick it up when it comes to their quarterback room. So,
that is the big risk, right? Is that you got J.J. McCarthy coming back to throw to Justin Jefferson after doing horrible with him initially. Carson Wentz sort of gave some strong weeks out, but now, he blew out his other arm.
Yeah,
that's
but
even Justin Jefferson.
He's still getting at least 11 points with a crappy quarterback.
Yeah, that's the thing. And so, I think you always want to get the top player if you can afford it. And Mike just got Justin Jefferson, one of the best, if not the best wide receiver in the league. So I think Mike wins this trade. Clearly, it's divided in between us. I guess that makes it fair.
I guess so.
All right, great analysis. I guess we'll have to see what happened. Wow, based on your analysis, I want to trade with you. Why don't we get one fired up? Start thinking about that as we jump in to the main segment. The week in review, starting off as we look at all of the scores at once on screen here. The low score, this week's biggest pooper, already was alluded to, scoring at least 18 points below everyone else, taking home his first Poopy Football Award of the year. Congratulations to Nick. I hope you used that $10 wisely. It was certainly in your account. All right, in the high score, by far the closest of the year, and also the lowest winning score so far of the year. It was a crazy week, so many tight matchups. 3 teams had 144 point something points, but only one broke 145. Some call it redemption. I call it frustrating. But after 2 weeks on the bottom and another narrow miss of the bottom, Mike is back on top. Mike taking down week 8's champion of the week. Congratulations. But you just always have to do it against me. That's all I'll say. All right, moving on to our matchup breakdowns. Once again, we'll go through all of our matchups. We are already on video in addition to audio, of course. So take a look on, YouTube, and you'll see if Spotify doesn't remove me this week. Starting off, once again, top of the screen here, my matchup against the aforementioned Mike. Look at this. I lost by 0.68 points. There were so many tight buttholes this week, but this one was surely the tight butthole matchup of the week. I lost to the number one scorer, goddamn Romeo Dobbs. Oh, man. All right. I had hockey on Sunday night. And I knew, oh wait, when was this game? It was a Sunday nighter. Yes. I knew I had to just fade like 8 points from Romeo Dobbs. And I checked the stats and he was like 3 for 41 or something. I'm like, wow, I won. I did it. And then I pulled out the app and he had a 2-point conversion. 2-point conversion for Romeo Dobbs. That's what put Mike over the edge. Oh man, so frustrating. All right, Aaron, that's my rant. You go ahead and tell me what you thought of this matchup.
Well, I don't know. You lost because you started Quentin Johnston, and your wide receiver's got to talk to your quarterback and get some more targets because he got absolutely stonewalled.
3 touchdowns.
I don't know. He's hot and cold. He was really hot at the very beginning, but he's hot and cold now. I don't really know if there's trouble in paradise for the LA Chargers when it comes to these guys' relationship. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Like
they destroyed. They crushed Minnesota.
Yeah, like it. They have a good team. They have an overall good team with good balance too. I think they're just relying on Rondé Gadsden now. He's just kind of a bit of a breakout star. Former Syracuse alumni, great guy. Went and saw him twice. He's a really good tight end. Like he's a solid player, and he's going to do really well in the NFL. Like his game translates really well. But yeah, that's where you lost, man. I don't know. You can't start guys that are going to get you 0 points.
Yeah, that is why I put in Quentin Johnston in. I wanted to give Mike a fair chance.
You wanted it to be real tight butthole.
Look at his defense. 26 points from the Tampa Bay defense. That's really what did it. Playing against the Saints. I mean,
anybody that's playing against the Saints.
Second highest. No, his defense, Mike's defense was his highest scoring player on the roster.
Yeah,
defense.
Every good team has a good defense, you know?
Yep.
Championship teams have good defenses.
That's number 1 score in the week. That's what it takes. All right. Yeah. I mean, and Mike now has, or no longer has Tyrone Tracy. Now he's getting Justin Jefferson on his roster. All right. Enough of that. Let's move on. I will accept my loss. Good game, Mike. Let's move on to our second matchup. We had Sarah against Brent, and this is another crazy tight one, decided by less than 2 points, but Sarah was able to close it out 111 to 109. Let's take a look at this one. Sarah was able to snag Jackson Dart off the waiver wire to replace Matt Stafford, who she's been rolling with tons of points on his part. He's been just throwing the touchdowns. That Jordan Love throwing a ton of passes. Jordan Love breaking out as a fantasy star on Brent's side. 34 points, completely way outproduced Jackson Dart with 21 points. But I mean, look at the defense again. Sarah's defense, 17 points. That was her highest scorer other than her quarterback. So, I mean, really both these teams did not score very high. A whole bunch of, 5 players with less than 10 points in the starting lineup. Washington is just completely falling apart. Zach Ertz and Bill Krosky-Merritt could not get anything. Rico Daddles in a timeshare, but still managing to pull it out to move to 4-4 over Brent, who, I mean, after Jordan Love, playing Samaje Perine, just completely using Joe Flacco to elevate everybody into fantasy stars. But, I mean, yeah, if you have to start Xavier Legette and Marvin Mims, then things are not really looking too hot for you. All right, Brent did have to sit Etienne and Montgomery on their bye. But, tight matchup, nothing too exciting overall. Brent will be getting Nico Collins and A.J. Brown back, but hopefully not against me when we play this week. Let's move on to our third matchup. We've got Daniel in another crazy tight one. 3 in a row. They all lined up. Daniel just barely lost to Sean by 1.5 points, 118 to 117. Aaron, what'd you think of this one?
Daniel, if I can get any opportunity for Daniel to lose, so he has more incentive to come onto the pod and defend his existence. That's always a good thing. The same thing though. Like he started a 0 point getter. Like you can't start guys like Jake Ferguson that are going to get you 0 points. Just doesn't work out that well. They both got good teams. Like at the end of the day, like the majority of their points are going to be coming from Jalen Hurts or from Breece Hall being like a bell cow on a team that's not that good.
Breece Hall threw more touchdown passes than his quarterback, than Sean's quarterback.
But I don't know. I think Daniel probably has the best team in the league at the moment. He just kind of was bit by the bye bug. Like he's got Gentry, Monte Brown, Brock Bowers is going to come back.
Genty's been pretty bad. But yeah, the Sun God
he's
is one of the
bad
best players.
because he doesn't understand NFL football yet. But he has
Yeah.
all the characteristics. He has all like the physical attributes that allow him to be like a good football player. He just has to learn how to play in the NFL. So this may be something that he learns over the course of the year, and then towards like our playoffs, that's when he starts like hitting his stride. But at the beginning games of the year, he was missing like his routes. He was running in the wrong gap. Like he was doing everything wrong as a rookie.
Yeah, that's true. But he's also only had one good game out of all of them. I mean, I guess he did have a couple 15-pointers after his 33-pointer. But yeah, only 3 complete bust games. All right. Maybe I'm not giving him. I guess he's catching enough balls to make himself still usable in fantasy. But yeah, Daniel's team does look good. So maybe we want him to rack up the losses when he's going against these bye weeks here. Sean is also coming on though, 5-3. He's into his trusted 4th place.
Yeah, he sat Bo Nix, and between Dak Prescott and Bo Nix, I don't know when you would ever pick Dak Prescott.
When they're playing against each other, I don't know.
I don't know. If you want to stack with him and Pickens, like Pickens is doing great so far this year. He's really kind of validating the fact that he was worth like a huge Hollywood-style trade to get him over to Dallas. But at the same time, I don't know. I don't think that you should really be starting Dak Prescott for the remainder of the season. Especially when it comes just refer back to like the coloring of who they're playing. Like Dak's playing against Denver, who's like a top 10 defense compared to, Bo Nix is playing Dallas, who Dallas's defense is riddled with injuries.
That's true. Now that you've ripped into his decision, you can still congratulate him on his win, though.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I mean, Sean's team looks scary good, too. Both these teams are coming on strong, and that's why they're in the top 4. Bijan, with his worst game of the year on Sean's team, he's a top 3 running back, and he's got the number 1 wide receiver in fantasy this year, and Jackson Smith and Jigba, who just won through his bye. All right.
I always feel like it's a backhanded slap when you throw like something like Bijan in your flex. Like you don't need to do that.
He's playing it smart. You play guys in your later time windows in the flex spots so that you can swap them out in case something happens. It's just
I don't like playing against smart players.
Smart strategy. All right. Matchup number 4. Here we go. Jason falling short again. This time to Christine. This one was not one of the closer ones, although still relatively close on a week-to-week basis. But Christine takes it down 144 to 131. I mean, look at Jason picking up and playing Aaron Rodgers, who still managed to get a solid 20 points. Not like he was playing anybody else with Kyler on bye. Jason's been without Kyler for a little while. James Cook, who has been Jason's savior, another 33 points after a down week. This is like his most ridiculous pure running back game of his career. 216 rush yards, didn't even catch a pass, but 216 and 2 TDs. He's just been a complete fantasy steal. Vlad McConkey's coming on, but I mean, yeah, you got Jordan Mason has just completely fallen off now. He's like unplayable with Aaron Jones back. Only 1 point from him. Even somehow played Jaden Higgins to get his 4 for 34 in a touchdown game. Like, I mean, not bad, but 131 was not enough to take on Christine's 144, who is not getting strong fantasy weeks from Caleb Williams. T. Higgins managed a single catch, but luckily it was a touchdown, so 11 points from him. But just consistency across Christine's whole roster. Only one positional player below 7 points in Keon Coleman. Even Dicker the kicker is going to get you 15 every week. Both of these teams had no points from their defenses, which is hilarious. 0 versus 0 battle. And so, I mean, Saquon Barkley finally having his best game of the year by far is what carried her over the edge. However, Christine's big pickup of Cam Scadaboo, who's definitely led her to at least one of her wins, is now out for the season. I guess you're stuck playing Kyle Monunga. You're going to have to make a trade or something for a running back. Can't play these double tight end stacks all week. But strong showing from Christine. Still one of the top point scorers on the week. Let's move on to our 5th matchup, where we have Brandon against Scott. And Brandon, who's been losing a few in a row now. Scott turning things around, 2 wins in a row after calling himself out as somehow the weakest team in the league. 125 to 116. Still a close win for Scott, but he takes it down. Aaron, break this one down for us.
I don't think Scott's team is quite ready for a yard sale. I think it's close, but I don't think he's terribly out of contention to at least run in the playoffs. Jerry Jeudy, They might put Shador in soon, so he might end up being a bit of a drop off. So you might want to see if you can get your hands on a good wide receiver.
Yeah, I
But
mean, didn't even get a target this week.
no, I like it. Just you're dealing with uh, Dylan Gabriel, so like he's just fresh. He's new. He's gonna get kind of shell shocked when he's in there a little bit. But you have Jonathan Taylor, you have Isaiah Pacheco. Those are two RB1s. Joe
Well,
Flacco.
Isaiah Pacheco's out now, but he's also got Kareem Hunt. Isaiah Pacheco's probably going to
True,
miss a game or
true.
two, so he'll get the two Chiefs running backs merged into one. And
Yeah,
I mean, Kareem Hunt's already been a good play.
but like Joe Flacco is brought into Cincinnati to get this team as close to the playoffs as possible, to get them as a shot, so that when his eventual replacement comes back, Joe Burrow, you can kind of transition it that way. But like that's their intention with Joe Flacco. They're going to give him every opportunity to like win a game. So you're going to have a solid 20 to 25 point getter every week, as long as the defense shows up as much as they are.
Until Brock Purdy comes back, at least he's fought him through. These Brock Purdy starts.
I wouldn't even go with Brock Purdy though. Like he is Mr. Irrelevant. He's good, but at the same time, like his team is a bit of a yard sale as well. Like
That's true.
They're doing as best they can, but I don't think that they see light at the end of the tunnel for a playoff run.
They still got a winning record, but yeah, I mean,
I don't think that they're going to be competitive whatsoever. So if he might be, and San Francisco has a history of doing this, right? Like they did this with Christian McCaffrey. They will not put you back unless you're 100%, unless they know for sure that they have a real shot at winning the Super Bowl. Not at just making the playoffs, but winning the Super Bowl.
that's probably the smart football play. But I mean, they can, if they get people back from injury, they definitely can. I mean, yeah, Scott needs somebody to come back. He's lost, Malik Neighbors and Darren Waller are now his IR remnants. But yeah. I mean, Scott is definitely well into it. He's getting Kareem Hunt now. He's going to have multiple good starting running backs. He had Trey McBride on bye. I mean, Scott's season is definitely nowhere close to over. And Brandon on the other side of things, I mean, he's not having those big breakout games anymore after his big pickup, Tutu Atwell. That has not gone well. What was that? Another $15 drop? Now he's on the IR. Yeah, maybe that was rivaling the Rashad Bateman ad. All right, let's move on to our sixth matchup of the week. One more to go after this. This was you, Aaron, taking down Cassie's Handsomer boys. This was not a close one. 144 to 119. And all right, Cassie does at least get to have Patrick Mahomes on her team each week. He has been unreal. He's elevated himself back to a top fantasy quarterback. He's had one game below 24 points. Otherwise, he's just been getting high 20s or 30s every week. He's back to throwing touchdowns, and he's running a ton every week. Just one of the top fantasy quarterbacks that you want on your team now. But other than that, Cassie did not have anyone who, did more than just totally fine. Derrick Henry had 2 rushing touchdowns, but still didn't even manage 20 points because he only barely broke 70 yards and did not catch a pass. But at least it's good to see him getting a ton of action again. But just too many plays. I mean, some of the New York Giants just could not get anything going reasonable, at least on the receiving side on offense. So Theo Johnson and Darius Slayton both completely fell flat. And there wasn't really anything else happening on the bench. So with Brian Thomas Jr., who's been, a terrible start when he's active, and also out on the bye week. So not much more Cassie could have done this week. She just needed some more from her just dart throw plays and did not get anything, even flexing a tight end and Mark Andrews. But on your side, all right, I mean, this was a game. I mean, I sent you a bunch of offers early in the season for Tucker Kraft. I'm surprised you didn't accept. I mean, those are you have 2 tight ends. You didn't need 2 tight ends.
Laporta and Kraft. I have two receivers. Receivers, yes, and they're very good at being receivers. The tight end dynamic in the NFL has changed over the past 3 years, significantly. And it's you're being used a lot more. And if you're a tight end 1, you're not really being seen as a pass blocker anymore. You're seen as a receiver. So when you're in there, you're running routes and you're getting target share. You have your tight end 2s, your tight end 3s that are your more blocking people, where traditionally that one tight end was kind of your bell cow for all the duties of a tight end. Now that's just not the case.
So I guess that was your strategy all along. Draft 2 extra receivers. Doesn't matter what acronym is next to their team name, TE or WR. They're still going to get you points. And 33 points for Tucker Kraft this week, by far your highest score. He had an insane game, even playing Darnell Mooney, who, I played him in a league too. I mean, it's not like you had better options. You weren't starting Calvin Austin. But yeah, you had Sam Laporta on bye. You've had Lamar Jackson injured for multiple weeks, and Garrett Wilson and Bucky Irving on the IR. They should be back within a week or two. Your roster will get a lot stronger. You still managed to keep up a 5-3 record. Even through these injuries. 20 points from Khalil Shakir. That's his best game of the year, I'm pretty sure. Yes, his first one breaking 20. That's right. Yeah. All right, well, that's a good win. You're looking not too bad as well at 5-3. Let's move on to the last matchup of the week. And, well, this one was absolutely, finally, number 7, the blowout of the week, with Nick getting crushed by Eddie. Those crashy Rices. 132-90. Aaron, tell us about this one.
Nick got bit by the bye bug. You know, like he had Devontae Adams, Kyron Williams, Jahmyr Gibbs all on bye. So those are solid points that are just going to be, they're just going to be left. And then also Baker had the worst game of his past 3 years. So
yeah, he did. 150 passing yards and a fumble for 4 points.
Yeah, and like we get penalized pretty hard for fumbles and fumbles lost. So like at the end of the day,
no, 1 point for each. A fumble is -1, and then if you've lost that fumble, you get an extra -1. 2 points. That's fair.
Right. I just saying, like at the end of the day, like if you're gonna have a bad game and you add in a fumble, like it's just gonna make your score even worse. Like he would have only had 6 points, but still.
I played one stupid league where a fumble is -66 points.
I like that. That's a good rule. It's a good rule.
All right.
But I'm like, I don't know. There wasn't a lot of hope for Nick. Like even though he's playing Eddie and Eddie had Cincy's defense, like he's taking points off the board by having Cincy's defense on.
Good solid -4 from your defense is always what you want to see.
Yeah, bringing back Crashy Rice onto your lineup after it, and then also, like I said earlier, Rondé Gatson. He's a solid player now, and he's getting used like the amount of target share that he's getting as a rookie tight end. That's what I mean. Like he's a baller. Like he's a real football player that's going to kind of integrate himself into the offense going forward and be like really a solid
proven himself early on. Yeah,
either 2 or 3 target share. Like in between him and like I wouldn't say Allen anymore, but you have 2 or 3 receivers, and he's in that top 2-3 receivers, and only really playing 3 games so far.
Yeah, Rashee Rice is now one of the top 5 guys. Well, at least that receiver you want on your roster at this point. And CMC had his worst game of the year, just like absolutely by far. His first game below 20 points, and he didn't even break 10. And Eddie still managed to get a win through this. I mean, Drake May is not even turning into, he's just an absolute fantasy star now.
Oh, and he's a stud. Like, yeah. As a Bills fan, I'm kind of concerned with this, but like he's really kind of coming into his own in his second year, and he's got a team behind him that can actually catch the ball and move the ball. So I don't really know how much I like the Stephon Diggs stack with him, because Stephon Diggs is a bit hot and cold.
It's fun to have the stack, but 3 for 14 and a TD for Stephon Diggs. Without that touchdown, he would have only had like 3 points, but it still breaks even with that. He's not been scoring a lot, so for him to get a touchdown in the week where he doesn't catch a lot of passes, that's something. But solid win, and it was without a couple good players, so being able to, if Eddie can get Amarian Hampton back from IR, then that's going to look real good. But, Nick, we've talked about Nick's team enough. Like you said, 3 of his absolute top players on bye. So we'll give him a pass for this week. Take that $10 and run. Let's move on. All right. I hope everybody got your waiver claims in, because we have 6 teams coming back. That was the crazy bye last week. But another 4 going on to bye for week 9. That's Cleveland, the New York Jets, the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Tampa Bay Bucks. So I guess we finally know who Nick is going to start at quarterback this week. All right, speaking of real NFL teams, Aaron, we've got our NFL and, of course, college guru on the show today. So let's go for some real NFL questions and see if there's any fantasy advice that follows to finish off the pod. So, first off, give me, in terms of real NFL teams, let's get that analysis. Who is your most surprising NFL team on the good side of things? Who has surprised you in a good way in terms of actual NFL teams?
There's, I would say they're surprising, but like the Eagles are just maintaining. So having the Eagles kind of maintain their dominance as they kind of transition from a Super Bowl winning year to the following year, they've maintained all of their core group of people between AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Saquon, and Hurts. Like they have some trouble up on the front offensive line, but at the same time, they have somebody that's able to run the ball and has done so when Saquon was at New York, he was running the ball with a terrible offensive line. He was running the ball with a terrible quarterback, no receiver help really. So he's going to be relied on a lot. So
Saquon's been doing horrible too. He's not been able to break. He broke his first 20-plus yard run of the season last week in his best game of the year. So he's actually been doing poorly, but at least they're still, I guess, grinding you down with the run game.
Yeah, like in terms of a team, like they are a full team. Like they have all three portions of football are covered. Like their special teams are great. Their defense has gotten like a couple pick sixes or return for touchdown. Like they got a solid offense where they know how to keep the ball moving. They may not accumulate the most amount of points in fantasy because they're going to be more methodical about how they play the game. They're not going to have huge breakout throws or massive breakout runs, but they're just going to keep the ball in their hands. If you keep the ball in your hands, the more touches you get, the more opportunities you get for a target share. That's like, in an ideal world, that's what you want to see. But they're just not going to be, you're not going to have AJ Brown putting up like a 30 burger, or you're not going to have Devontae Smith with like 3 touchdowns in the game. Like they're going to be evenly distributed.
Rarely at the same time between the two of them, at least.
Right. So like, I think like they're a good team to go forward. And if you have a trade opportunity with somebody on Philly, like they're going to be a consistent team that are going to keep moving forward. Another team that's, I guess, like obvious as well is Tampa Bay Bucks. So they've been bit by the injury bug.
Hit hard by injuries. That's right.
But at the same time, they just keep winning games. Like to me, if they're 6-2 and like they're playing in the NFC South,
6-2, yeah,
they're going to be a contender to like clear their way through the NFC South.
They've got a pretty not scary division. Yeah.
Yeah. And like they're going to have one more opportunity with, I think, all of them. So they're going to play the Panthers. Panthers are terrible with running. They're going to play the Falcons. Falcons are just in limbo right now, not knowing what to do when it comes to their quarterback, and their receiving isn't great. And then the Saints are just a dumpster fire that they're going to throw anything they possibly can at to try and win one game. So if they're going to move forward, and if you're going to move forward and you have an opportunity to trade, like with Bucky Irving, if you would like Bucky Irving.
I'll take Bucky Irving. Yeah.
There's a lot of opportunity for that team to be consistent. And it's the same fundamentals. The more you keep the ball on offense, the more you keep your defense off on the sidelines, the more opportunities you have for especially rushing. Because once it gets later in the game, if you have teams that are up and like they're just trying to kill the clock, you get more touches, you get more garbage yards. You always have an opportunity for a breakout there too, because defense are going to try and sell into the box and stop the run. And then you have an opportunity to break it out and then go from there.
And they've been doing it even without Bucky Irving for the past 4 games. They've been doing it without Mike Evans, who they now lost for the rest of the season. Chris Godwin has just been nothing in the 2 games he came back, and now he's back out. It's been my guy, Emeka Egbuka, just absolutely crushing it, even though he also hurt his hamstring, so he's not been playing well the past 2 games. But that the bye will be welcome for them, I'm sure.
But like on that note as well, like they have been bit by the injury bug, but they still keep winning. That's like the signs of a really good team.
Yeah, 6-2, yes.
So you're going to like disconnect yourself from fantasy. If you're on a good team, you're going to have a lot of opportunity.
I can't, so that's why I brought you here. I can't disconnect myself from fantasy. All right, there we go. Those are your 2.
One honorable mention, though, is
honorable mention for third most surprising team in a good way
is the Giants.
The Giants. Oh, good call. Yeah.
Like the Giants, like unfortunately, they're done. Like at this time of the year, like I don't think that they really have anything to salvage too much.
2-6 on the year. I mean, they can't. They're at the bottom of the division where the Eagles are at the top, 6-2.
Yeah,
So
like they're just gonna play spoiler now, and like that's gonna be their incentive every single week. So
they can beat you.
Like the Tyrone Tracy is part of the trade between Mike and Jason. Like it's not great, but you know for sure he's gonna run. Like a wide receiver, I would never take a wide receiver.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
You get the guarantee. I mean, who knows? They like Devin Singletary, so Devin Singletary will still get some run. But yeah, it's definitely Tyrone Tracy's job to lose now. All right, there we go. Most surprising teams: Eagles being able to run it back as a strong year after the Super Bowl. Tampa Bay Bucks sticking out strong through all the injuries, and the New York Giants at least being an exciting team, even though they're still bad. Who is the most surprising team for you in a bad way? Who is really just shit the bed this year?
Biggest bust. Obviously is like the low hanging fruit is the Saints. But at the same time,
is that surprising? Did you expect them to be good? No,
I just feel really
it was terrible.
I feel really bad for Alvin Kamara because he's an unbelievable running back. He did an unbelievable job when he was at Alabama. He's a fantastic running back.
10 years ago at this point.
No, it doesn't matter. Like he's been with one team. That's the thing. Like you have soldiers.
You only played Alabama and the Saints.
Yeah, like you have sold yourself as like a legacy or a journeyman on a team. Like you now have the opportunity to like really kind of develop as the team grows, but the team has just never grown, right? So they got rid of Drew Brees and then it just fell off from there. So I don't know if there's any kind of like light at the end of the tunnel. I think they have to yard sale everybody. So just be mindful towards like the trade deadline whether or not like there's going to be guys that are going to be moving to good teams. Like there's a couple teams out there that need a running back.
Yeah, but they're not trading. Alvin Kamara said he's not going to get traded. He said if you trade him, effectively he'll retire. He'll go drink margaritas on the beach or something like that.
Yeah, but also like there's Chris Olave as well. Guys like
Chris Olave is good and he's young. I mean, I think maybe more likely that they trade Rashid Shaheed. Chris Olave he's actually been an unreal player to have on your fantasy team this year. He's been getting all the targets. But True. you know what? He's older. He's at like what 27 or something like that now. So I mean, unless they don't want to sign him to a longer contract, is he 27? I got to fact check myself. Let's. But
depending on how things go,
25. He's only 25. Look at that. He's young. Yeah. You can't trade him. He's a great player.
They have no prospect for a quarterback. So, like, they're going to be tanking to go into the draft.
That is what, they want to stay in last place to hope that there's a quarterback they can start because Tyler Shuck is not the answer. They'll give it to him, give him a chance in the whole second half of the season to see if he can do anything as a potential starter.
He's horrible. I liked him in college, but he's horrible.
He played, 7 years of college, 9 years of college or something?
Yeah.
He was in school.
You got like those,
as long as I was.
You got those bonus 4 years for COVID for whatever reason.
4 years, wow.
No, I don't think that he was ever really that good. I think that he just has the frame. Like
he was just consistent. They just needed a reliable quarterback. Is that
he was tall? He was able to talk to the media. Like I think he's a big bust. You're gonna probably see it this weekend. Just because he doesn't have anybody to like protect him when he's throwing the ball.
That too. Play your defenses against New Orleans. We saw that last week already. That was a 26-point defense of the Tampa Bay Bucks. So whoever is playing the Saints this week is also going to be incredible. All right. Do you have another most surprising team in a bad way?
Well, I gave you an NFC team. Let me give you an AFC team.
All right.
Like
pick something not so easy this time.
I'd say like the Texans. Like the Texans, last year they did really well. Like they had a solid foundation with CJ Stroud and Nico Collins. Nico Collins being hurt doesn't help at all.
Nico Collins has been really disappointing this year for sure.
Yeah, but like the team as a whole, I don't think they have much of a chemistry at the moment. Like they have people like Nick Chubb, who's the same thing. He's just a journeyman. He's constantly finds himself on teams that are going to rely on him the majority of the time. And then you also have like Xavier Hutchinson that's not doing it. And then you have the cancer.
Xavier Hutchinson is having his best fantasy season of his career, but you don't want to be starting him.
Not on that team though. Like that's the thing. The team sucks. So like you have they have the death curse or the cancer of the NFL, which is Christian Kirk. if you have Christian Kirk on your team, you're going to have a losing
Oh,
record.
that's harsh. Oh, Christian Kirk has helped me some years. 2 years ago, he was good.
That's fine, but like
He's had some
I
good
think
fantasy years.
I think you were the only person that he helped
Yeah,
because
well,
like he just overall sucks. Like he's not like I can't say
He's
much.
the
I'm not
least respected player in the league. But you know what? The Texans are sitting
Absolutely.
at 3-4. They're at 3-4. However, they've got 153 points for and 103 against. They have plus 50 point differential, and yet they're 3-4. They've got their defense has been awesome. Like what is that? That's like an average of like 16 points against a game.
Like I think they had such a good foundation to build off of last year, and they're nowhere close to where they should be compared to. They're also in the same division as the Colts.
Yeah, the Colts obviously
are
clear stud
out.
team. Clear.
There are clear stud team, but at the same time,
their missing piece was Daniel Jones to put them over the edge.
That's the thing. Like Daniel Jones, I think you just need to get out of New York, but at the same time, like nobody's hurt. Right. This is like the key narrative of all of this is that teams that don't have hurt players are doing really well.
Nobody really important. Nobody. I don't think at least. I assume not on their offensive line. That seems to be what really crushes people. So
the Bills don't have anybody really hurt at the moment. They have Maxwell Harrison that was their first round draft pick. He's hurt, but he just got back. You have teams that are projected to be fantastic, like the Ravens. Like they're just hit with injury as well, and they're useless. You have Kansas City, who was like they had Rashid Rice that was out, and then
that was a suspension. That was totally bad.
No, for sure. Like it's just it's absence of like quality like key players that are going to be difference makers in the game. If you don't have those on your team every single week, it's really hard to get a win in the NFL. Like these teams, like it's really fucking hard. Like, these guys are all really great athletes. So when you don't have your difference makers on your roster, the chances of you winning go down dramatically.
Yep. Yeah.
So I don't know. True. For the Texans, like this is a huge uphill battle for them to even get anywhere close to the playoffs because they also have to compete too with the Jaguars.
I mean, the Jaguars are not looking very good, but yeah, you know what? They have been disappointingly bad. I agree with you there. Let's just hope that they feed Woody Marks the ball and give me some fancy points when I start starting him. All right, give me a player. Sure. Quick time player who you've loved this year in the NFL.
Like, I don't know. It's like I loved watching Cam Scalaboo. I thought it was so fun.
He was incredibly fun.
He's one of those guys that's just like he's a football player. Like he's like a purebred football player. Doesn't care about anything. He's like he is like on the fast track to he's on the fast track to getting CTE, which is always fun to watch. Like it's not fun when it's like Tua and he's putting up gang signs after he got hit.
I am not on board with this take. I do not think that's fun to watch.
But like guys like Cam Scalaboo that just they come in every day and like they're foaming at the mouth because they just want to play football so badly. That's awesome to watch.
Let's see if top plays again.
Top performers like Jamar Chase is doing fantastic, right? Even with like a terrible situation on his team when it comes to quarterbacks. He's still
getting like 20 targets a week, like a 50% target share. Oh man, that's exactly what you want to see.
The thing is with him though, if he's getting a 50% target share, you kind of have to assume he's coming down with at least 50% of those. Like he's when he
more easily
when it's a 50-50 ball, it's 100% for him. When it's a deep route, like that's just timing with your quarterback. Like that's nothing else. Like he's beating a guy off the step, off the line every single time. If you put him on single man coverage, then he is going to blow past you. If you do like a cover 2 shell where like there's two high safeties, he's going to find the hole every time. So he's giving the quarterback every opportunity to make the pass.
Yeah.
It's just whether or not that quarterback can convert it. Now with Flacco, I think it's a really good thing because he's just a letterman. Like he has a background and he has a case for him to be in like maybe comeback player of the year. And if that's the case, like you have an opportunity for Jamar to like put up a minimum 25 points every single week.
Absolutely. That's what I'm counting on. However, Joe is hurt. Apparently it's only 50% chance to play this week. So 50-50. I hope he's out there because I need him for Jamar Chase. Do not give me Jake Browning again. But he's been unbelievable.
No, I think he knows the situation in Cincinnati.
Yeah, he's
like if he's a 50-50 guy, like when it comes to football, your job is to come into this city and come into this team and get us the best opportunity we can to get the playoffs.
3-5. They're 3-5, second in the division to Pittsburgh, who's 4-3. I mean, Cincinnati could definitely come back and pass Pittsburgh, so they can't give up on the season yet.
Baltimore sat Lamar last week against Chicago, and it's because they genuinely thought that Tyler Huntley would give them an opportunity to get past them, so they didn't have to risk Lamar coming back, right? But the odds are so stacked against them, like that had to be like a clear-cut call from them to say like, no, we don't need Lamar, we can get away with the run game. So that's something to look into when you're watching kind of as the week progresses. If you're just kind of like a casual fan, by all means, like you can kind of just go off of like the front page news. But if you knew,
I am not a casual fan. Don't you worry. I'm going to be.
If you knew,
I'm going to find out what Joe Flacco's eating for dinner every night.
Tyler Huntley was coming into that game. You knew for certain like that they know that they're going to be targeting that run game the entire game. Like Derrick Henry didn't put up a huge number, but at the end of the day, like he controlled that game as it went along.
Tons of rushes, 70 yards, 2 tutties still. Yep. All right. I like it. Let's get the Bengals pushing for the playoffs, which means my Bengals on my roster are going to be great for the rest of the year. Do you have one player who has disappointed you the most?
Worst players? I don't know. Like it's really easy to say Spencer Rattler because Spencer
most disappointing player.
Spencer Rattler with passion. I think he is like the Diet Coke of like Patrick Mahomes. He's got the same haircut.
That's pretty high praise if you say someone's Diet Coke of like,
because he's terrible.
One of the best Diet quarterbacks ever.
Diet Coke is terrible compared to regular Coke. That's a hot take. I'll say it here. But like Spencer Rattler sucks. Like if I don't know, I watched like that NFL quarterbacks like back when like these kids were just coming out of high school into college, and like he was such a huge name that was going to Oklahoma, and he just sucked. Like Caleb Williams beat him out of his spot. Like he went to South Carolina. He did pretty good there in his last year, but the 2 years that he was there prior, he blew chunks. So he's not a good quarterback. I think like he is the token child of the NFL because they have used him in such sports media since he was in high school that they're like, we have to put him in.
He's just primed to make it. Make it all year. I mean, he's the longest he's thrown, the most yards he's thrown for in a game this year is 233. I guess not terrible. He's only started piling on the interceptions. He's got 5 on the year, 4 of them have been in the last 2 weeks. So that was good enough to get benched for the rest of the season. So you won't have to watch him anymore this year.
He's horrible.
After their 10-minute rant session across 2 different pieces, ripping on the New Orleans Saints. That's it. Let's call it there. Week 8 is over. Week 9, well, it's probably already starting the night that you are listening to this. Early morning on the Thursday, I'm sure, on your way to whatever you're doing. This is the most important thing you have to start your week with, or extended football weekend. Pretty soon, we'll only have 5 weeks until playoffs. The fantasy season is just blowing by. Aaron, thank you so much for joining. It's been a pleasure. Any final words?
No, not much. Good luck, kids. It's going to be hard to take me down this year. I'm still making a run at it.
You always will. And, I got one thing to say, of course. Until next week, thank you so much for listening. And let's go Blue Jays.
Appreciate that. Love this.